What happened? Where am I? Am I alive yet?
What's out there, all you idiots and morons? All you beautiful people, too? Just getting set up here real quick. Enjoy the black screen for a second. This is what it is. Hey, how you doing? All right. What's going on? Well, this is the initial kickoff of this little podcast. I bet you wondering, well, how are we going to make this any different from anything else? I don't hell know. I mean, I'm just here talking about things I want to talk about because I know a lot about everything and nothing about everything. Sounds about right. Off in the new year. Hope everybody's 2025 has started off great. Fortunately, we did have that terrorist incident in New Orleans. Hopefully they get that situated and handled, as the world seems to be going more and more extreme over just stupid beliefs and reasonings, but that's where we are. A world full of morons. I am your king idiot. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, my name is Sharples. This is Sharples World. I can't stress this enough. I'm not a big social media guy. I don't live on social media. I don't understand why people, well, unless you're making money, I understand why you're living on there. I mean, to each their own. If you're going to make some money on it, do it. I got you on that. But if you're just there just to live your life on that, I honestly don't know. I mean, a couple years ago, probably around 2017, I remember being at work and I had the Facebook app on my phone, and I caught myself just pulling it up about every 5 minutes, and I don't know why, because nothing new was happening. Everything was the same, but I kept looking at my phone and picking it up, and I realized, holy crap, Sharples, you have a problem. So right then and there, I removed Facebook app off my phone. I never had Twitter on there, and kept it at that. Just, you could tell it was becoming an addiction when you're pulling it up every 5 minutes just to look at nothing or at the same story from 3 days ago. So I'm not that adept to social media, and I don't understand why people spend their whole lives looking at that garbage. It's a bunch of brain rot anyway, especially the way Twitter is. But I don't know if you all have seen. So the idiot kingdom, the idiot people of the idiot kingdom there on X, they find, and I'm sure a lot of it's just clip farming, and a lot of it's just people that are trying to engage in just the mass of a-holes we have around the world. And obviously, I'm sure a lot of it is just bots, but about every week, there's something that pops up that just astounds. It's like, a week or two ago, it was the drones. Everything in New Jersey was, it's a fucking drone. Look, it's a fucking drone. It's a fucking plane. No, it's a fucking drone. I know what a fucking drone looks like. All the drones are from aliens or being invaded, all this stuff, or it's for the government, or it's other governments, and it was just drones. I don't know if you've seen the latest thing, but the latest thing is people are discovering fog. They're discovering it. It's amazing. It's I've been alive for 43 years, and I discovered fog when I was a kid. I mean, so take that to back to the 80s. I mean, fog. Wow, comes out in the morning and sometimes in the evening, depending on the humidity level. Fog. But apparently, people just now are opening their doors and going outside and discovering fog, which is scary. It almost seems like everybody just shut themselves in 2020 and have not been outside in years and are now coming out like Quagmire when he discovered porn and just was looking like a wreck. Holy moly. So yeah, now they are discovering fog. And it's just interesting, especially this idiot here, concerned citizen. Holy moly, is that a freaking that guy is just farming for people to comment and like. But so here we go. We got somebody showing you fog, and they're completely just
this shit.
blown away. They
What
can't
is
figure
this?
out what
This is
this
not
stuff
fog.
is. Which, by the way, that's just
This is not
water.
fucking conspiracy theories.
It's water. This is what fog looks like when you put
What
a
the
flashlight in it. The particles of
this
the water
shit.
bounce back and reflect off the light, but for some reason
What is this?
people are
This is not
amazed
fog.
by this, and it just blows my mind and frankly makes me wonder what is going on in this world where fog, the existence of fog, is is blowing people's minds to the point that it's weather engineering or there's something in the fog or yeah, see, like this guy thinks that the fog is now weaponized. This is where we are in this world. Fog that's been around since probably the beginning of Earth. Fog that I've driven through every fall and spring, and sometimes in the summer, depending. Fog that it was just out a couple days ago here and was just there. Now it's a cover for an alien invasion, or it's the weather control of them putting chemicals in it. This is the type of people that we have running on these social medias. Is that fog is oh god, I mean, I don't how are people this scared of fog? I mean, honest to god, what did fog do to piss people off that fog is the reason? I'm gonna put Bill Gates in there because that's what would happen. That fog is the reason that we have all the, oh yeah, and this guy, yeah, regular just clouds and planes that are flying over. Like, yeah, this is even got community noted on this. This guy's an idiot. We have people worried about fog as blows my mind. Oh, here's another one. It's got an alien in the sky. Yep, that's what it is. Controlling the fog. Aliens controlling the fog. Hey, look, there's a plane, but that's a drone. He's dropping off fog. It's gonna turn you inside out like the episode of The Simpsons. Oh, what's this? Look, they're shooting at the clouds. Holy crap. They're shooting clouds, people. I mean, Twitter used to be a place that it was somewhat normal, right? Like there was there was some things that were a part of it that you could understand, right? That it was funny. It was a good place to hang out. You had back and forth. Now we just have idiots that come up and talk about how mysterious fog is. That this has never been seen before. fog has never been seen before, everybody, and it's being filled with. It smells funny, apparently. I gotta tell you something. If you're outside and the fog smells, it's probably just your town, or maybe you need a bath. I don't know. I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I can't even. It just makes me laugh that people are really worried. Like, look at this guy.
People seem to think fog, so.
But this fog in Florida, I've never seen anything like this before.
Flashlight on.
It's probably because your fat ass had never been outside before. I'll be honest with you. It's probably because you come home and just sit inside on the couch, watch TV, eat your Cheez-It popcorn, your Mountain Dew, and then fall asleep and just live, in this catonic lifestyle of the Matrix. Just happy to have a beer gut. Oh my God, look at the light. I shine through it and it just is not fog. My man, when we were kids and it was foggy like this, we get flashlights and go outside and we would play like Star Wars, like we had lightsabers with it. Or we would see how far the light could go into the fog. This is nothing new. If you think this is new, Jesus, my man, you guys have got to get out more. You guys, I mean, everything is not a conspiracy theory. Everything. Oh, look, oh my God, look at that. Little fairies. I believe these are chemicals. It's got chlorine and pedomorphine, and I bet it turns people into pedos if they stay out here too long. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe the government's doing to us. Daggum Joe Biden. Trump, he did this. Holy crap. Honestly, man, when did we become this? I mean, I know we were stupid. I know as a species, as a whole, humans just aren't that intelligent. I mean, is that just a part of social media? It's just brought out the unintelligent people and has allowed them to run the world while even the mildly intelligent have stayed away from this? Because this is wild. They say it makes them feel sick, smells like chemicals, and is not normal. What are the odds the exact same thing is suffering everywhere? Okay, so here's the thing. I worked at this building, and it was connected to a series of other buildings. And in one of the buildings down the way, I mean, it was attached, but it was not attached, if that makes sense. Like, it was a good 100 yards away from us. It was discovered that they had bat guano, bat poop in the ceiling. That bats got in there, which is toxic, especially if it sits there for a while. And this stuff had been getting in the filters. There were people that reported that it had dropped on their desk. They would find it there, So, they came through. It was determined that the building needed to be shut down and cleaned out because of this issue. Again, it was connected to our building, but it was not connected as far as the vents went. It was not connected as far as being an open-ended building. There were select buildings with walls. They were just connected that particular way. So people in our building, this is where the hysteria kicks in. It only takes one person. Start freaking out about different smells in our building, and that it's obviously bat guano, and that we are all being poisoned, even though we had people come in and tell us that wasn't true. So they one day brought everybody, it's a good 100 people, all together to have a meeting about it, and they even brought one of the CEOs over to tell us that everything's fine, that they've been through the vents, they've cleaned the vents, they've been through this, everything is fine. So one person goes, well, how come every day when I come to work, I'm outside, I feel fine, but when I come through the doors, I just feel like I don't want to be here, and I'm tired, and I feel sick? I can tell you right now, that's not because of bat poop. That's not because of chemicals. That's because you hate your job and you're fine when you're outside of it, And then when you walk through the door, you get depressed and it overtakes your thinking to where you are then easily overwhelmed by anything and everything that occurs around you or to you. That is what Twitter is now. You have one person that'll come in, cause a stink when there's no reason to cause a stink, and then everybody else thinks that they are a part of that stink. Just like this. You have one person that says they smell something funny and it made them feel sick, and then everybody else goes out and stands in the fog and goes, "Oh my God, I'm sick. I can smell the chemicals. I'm so sick. What is this? We're being poisoned. Oh my God." That's the world we live in now. We're a bunch of buffoons and idiots that are clip farming or trying to get content farm. We'll run out and try to make it seem like fog is going to kill you. Fog. I mean, I tell you, the only time you need to be scared of fog is if there's weird ass creatures like in the mist that start coming out of it, as if another dimension has opened up and starts grabbing people. Otherwise, you're gonna be perfectly fine. I tell you right now, you're gonna be perfectly fine. What was she saying?
Fog behind me. Let's break down, what the internet is saying about that. People all over America are experiencing heavy fog. Okay. Everyone is wondering, what are the odds that this happens right when they don't want people looking up in the sky during the drones and orbs situation? And we have a list of places and videos to accompany that of
my God, people have
places across
itineraries for the
that
fog.
have been seeing fog. They also listed the times of day that the fog has been reported: middle of the day,
The fog
12
itinerary.
noon, 3:30 in the afternoon. Fog can develop at any point during the day. Of course, most commonly it develops in the morning hours. However, again, it can develop at any time during the day. Now,
She's
maybe
gotta be a
this is
weather
a
woman, right?
coincidence that all this
Yeah, she's
unusual
weather.
fog is happening all over the
Okay,
country.
thank
at the
God she's
exact
beautiful and
same
smart.
time
Because good Lord.
that they don't want anyone looking up at the skies of the drones and orb situation taking once. My favorite part here: there are many logical atmospheric explanations for heavy fog. But is this all just too coincidental? Well, rest assured, what you're seeing behind me here and what
Hey,
we're
look,
seeing
fog
across
behind her.
portions of the United States, that is simply fog. Fog is a natural phenomenon, not a conspiracy.
It's natural,
and it
you
consists of
idiots. It's not.
water droplets that
Why
are
do we allow content farmers and clip farmers? And look, man, I get Elon wants his product, wants X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, wants it to be a freedom of speech, which that's fine. I get that. That's cool. But you open the door to allow idiots to just run the gamut. And if you don't hold them accountable, if you only community note them hours after the content has been out there, hours after thousands of people have commented, after thousands of people have viewed it, after thousands of people and bots have liked it, and then you community note it, it's not helping it, man. It's like you're allowing stupid people to control your app and run your app, and then you community note it like hours later when the damage has already been done. There has to be a way that Elon has to get on this, and if something gets liked too fast or if something blows up too quick and it's determined that it's BS, that it is removed from the app. And I know then all of them will go into, oh my God, it's conspiracy. Elon doesn't like freedom of speech and Elon's trying to quiet people that are speaking the truth. So it's his app, dude. As much as it's freedom of speech, they can do what they want on it. I mean, you're just a guest using Twitter. It's not yours. You aren't, I hope you're not paying to use it. It's a free friggin' service. Why are we letting these idiots control and run the world with these stupid fears, dude? Hey, yeah, the government controls the fog. This happens, man. It happened with the drones. It happens with the fog. It happens with the weather being controlled. It happens with, I mean, when terrorist attacks happens, it's just, you have people that just put idiot stuff on there, and it's not being, I mean, I don't want to say regulated, but it's not being taken care of, and it's allowed to be on there, and then the other idiots get a hold of it and believe it, and they push it, and it causes hysteria on something. You have people being afraid to go out inside for fog. Who had that on their bingo card for the end of 2024, beginning of 2025? The first fear that we have is fog. a naturally occurring thing, and we're afraid of it. A thing that's been around since we were, still apes and didn't know what the hell it was and have lived through it for thousands of years and it didn't do anything to anybody, but yet all of a sudden it's chemically charged or it's covering for an alien invasion. The fog has been everywhere. Talking about that. All right, I call this is not common. This isn't common, folks. This right here. This is not common. Did you realize? Calming looking fog I see every time fog rolls through here. This is not common. Lord have mercy. Why is it causing widespread respiratory issues? Because it's not. It's not. Smells fresh asphalt or plastic burning, which irritates the lungs. Yeah, it's probably because you're close to a chemical plant, my man. Or these people that are smelling it are close to chemical plants, or maybe somebody's paving a road. Yep, there it is. They've never seen fog before because they're friggin' idiots. They never go outside. They're probably the whitest fucking people you've ever seen in your life, too. Just the whitest people. They come outside and they glow. Because fog. Jesus Christ, people. But, I mean, come on. Everybody. It's fog, man. Fog's not going to hurt you. Fog's not going to do anything to you. You have a bigger fear of being struck down by a car, as we saw today in New Orleans, than you do being killed by fog. Unless there's some idiot driving super fast in dense fog and runs into you, then I could go with that. Then fog could kill you. But for real, man. Okay, now we're selling national defense to China. My bad. Do not go outside in the fog without a face mask. Apparently, we're face masking up again, everybody. The people that didn't want us to face mask during COVID now want us to face mask because of fog. Because of fog. So what is it, though? Is it filled with chemicals from the government, or is it because aliens are coming in? I mean, what is it, conspiracy theories? Is it chemicals, or is it aliens? I need to know. I mean, let me know. Is it an alien invasion? Or is it a chemical set up to castrate everybody? Which, honestly, I'm probably all for, because there's a lot of people out there that probably should not be having kids, for Christ's sakes. Oh, it's bird flu. We're spreading bird flu now with the fog. Okay, gotcha. Because this isn't normal. Gotcha. Bird flu is spread by fog now. Gotcha. Making people sick. Oh, okay, yeah. We're setting up another lockdown because of fog. Fog vid. Gotcha. I know. I saw the fog in my home security footage last night, months ago. Never thought much of it, but here's the weird part. Many nights, I would get floored with notifications for hours about activity in the front door. Oh. Yeah, he's got people rolling. He's got people rolling. Footage shows on fog. Went back to check. Or it could be Ghost. How about Ghost in the Fog? Ooh, good movie title. Ghost in the Fog, huh? Come out and kill you with their deadly chemicals and oh, yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Oh, because it's not because there's a cold front moving through and it's crossing with, the humidity down there to create fog. It wouldn't be because of that. It's because of aliens. Another, speaking of aliens, how is everything that any human being ever did, any creative form, any engineering feat, just anything that a human created, now all falls on, no, humans couldn't do that. It had to be some sort of alien that came down and gave them the tech or built it for them, because we're just not that smart. The pyramids, the Aztec pyramids, the whatever you can think of being built being built before, I guess, civilized times. It was built by aliens, was built or given engineering help by aliens. This is the world we're in, where humans cannot be responsible for anything unless it's just completely stupid or completely destructive. We cannot be responsible for anything that we ever made. That's such a great world we live in. Holy crap. Ugh, okay, I gotta get off this fog thing with all these idiots, or else it's gonna just drive me nuts. Fog. Wasn't it a simpler time when people weren't spending 24 hours on their phone and getting caught up and just... Please, people, put your phone down. When you... I understand checking to see, like, what happened during the day, get the highlights, check your sports, do this, do that. But then after that, just put the damn thing down, man. And tell people that if they're texting you nonstop, if there's no reason to text you, tell them not to text you unless there's an absolute reason to text you. You don't need to know what somebody's cooking. You don't need to know. I don't need to tell you if I stubbed my toe walking on the door. I mean, who the hell's going to care if you stub your toe? I don't need to hear about it. This whole addiction to the phone, put the phone down. Go outside. Enjoy the sun. That giant ball that, is in the sky 12 hours of the day that gives you light to where you can go outside and enjoy the day and actually be mentally healthy for a little bit there. Let's do something with our lives instead of sitting on these phones and letting these idiots control not just our mental health but our anxiety, the way we view the world, the way we get our information. Just, oh my God. I mean, honestly, if you want to be super healthy, just delete your account on Twitter. Just delete your account on any other social service that is just full of crap, because Jesus, these things are just ridiculous, the amount that people get into. All right, anyways, let's switch it up a little bit. So all the playoffs are going, of course. Georgia and Notre Dame will be played tonight, hopefully, because I think they're still trying to figure out if it's safe enough to have the event. Because I'm not sure if they're still... originally, I think they thought it was just one person, but now they are concerned that there might be more actors in that situation. So it looks like they're I guess going to give it a 24-hour breath before that game gets through. Oregon got completely destroyed at the time of this video. Texas won in a great overtime. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of SEC haters that wanted Texas to go down, which, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. It only took a whole year for everybody to finally jump on that bandwagon that ESPN is a just tool and a propaganda reel for the SEC, which everybody was warned about the last 10 years, but really the last year, about how the ESPN is all about the SEC, but everybody just wanted to ignore that and just make fun of crybaby Florida State fans because that was just funnier and easier to do. Apparently, Florida State fans were a year ahead on the trend because now everybody hates ESPN and Kirk Herbstreit. Which, I mean, look, Kirk Herbstreit doesn't bother me. I understand that people don't like him, and I get it, but he doesn't bother me. He gives his opinion, and yes, he's going to be more swayed toward the SEC stuff because they are in partnership with the SEC. It's just like last year with the SEC commissioner. A lot of people hated the way he went on ESPN for a 24-hour period, hyping up the SEC to the point that they got their teams in the playoffs. And as much as I hated that, I had to respect it. At least he was doing something. The ACC commissioner last year did nothing until a day after their team, Florida State, got jobbed. And then the only thing he did was put out a statement on Twitter. Good job, my man. The SEC commissioner was out there for 24 hours, pumping up the teams, talking about how great they are, this, that even if one loses in this game, both of them should be in. He did his job. I'll give him credit for that. He did what he was supposed to do. The ACC commissioner, crickets. Oh, wait, no, here's a post. We're upset. We are so upset that Florida State didn't get in. And that's it. But, I mean, what did you expect? The SEC and ESPN have been partners now for, I think, about 10 years. They finally got the SEC from CBS, and it's now a product of ESPN, and it's ratings. It's about they're going to push their product, and people. I mean, they were warned last year that this playoff system was just going to be a Big Ten SEC spectacle, that they were both going to try to get their teams in, and nobody believed it. They thought the system would work, and I mean. But what do you think ESPN's going to do when it comes down to an SEC school and a Big 10, or excuse me, a Big 12 at ACC or an at-large bid? I mean, what do you think? I mean, they're going to push the SEC teams. That's what they're going to do. They're going to push their product. And, I mean, on some level, we've allowed that to happen. And on some level, the other commissioners of the other conferences allowed this to happen. The minute that the SEC expanded and picked up Texas, well, I'll take it even further back. The minute that they picked up Missouri and Texas A&M, the minute they did that, the ACC should have seen the writing on the wall and raided the Big 12, picked up all those schools and became a super conference. But they didn't, because they wanted to respect the state of football. And then what happened? The SEC then went, and I mean, they're looking out for themselves, which is fine, and they pick up Texas and Oklahoma. Again, at that point, the ACC should have raided the Big 12, had a super ACC conference. But what did they do? They respect the integrity of the game. Jesus Christ, they could not see that this was a business now. The SEC did. The SEC had probably seen it was a business since back in '92 when they started the conference championship game. They probably saw where it was going from that point on. But anyways, so the ACC sat around on their ass. The other conferences sat around on their ass. Who didn't? The Big Ten. They saw what was going on. What did? They expand and they get the teams from the West and basically destroy the Pac-12. And that was after that. Remember that stupid alliance that the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 they were going to put an alliance together against the SEC. Lasted all but what, a year before the Big Ten raided the Big 12. And again, at that point, the minute the Big Ten raided the Big 12, the ACC, or excuse me, raided the Pac-12, the ACC should have raided the Big 10 or the Big 12. I'm getting all my big numbers. Should have raided the Big 12, and they didn't. And they sat there and just we respect the integrity of the game. So now you have just dead conferences out there. You have the super conferences and the SEC and the Big Ten, and then the rest are dead. They're dead. And no matter what people say, the other conferences are dead. Florida State saw the writing on the wall, and they wanted out. And what did Florida State get for that? They got hell. They got their ruin in college football. They got you should respect your contract that you signed. Even if the plane is running into the damn mountain, you need to ride that out and ride it into the mountain with it. So Florida State gets blamed for wanting to destroy college football, even though when the SEC expanded and took Texas and Oklahoma, and then the Big Ten basically destroyed a conference in the Pac-12, that wasn't destroying football, but because one team wants to leave a conference because they see the writing on the wall and they want to be part of this big super conference, because it's basically, look, college football is going to two conferences, whether you like it or not. It's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten. It's going to be just like the NFL with the AFC and the NFC. That is where it's headed. If you do not understand, if you did not see that 2 years ago, if you did not see that a year ago, if you're just now waking up to that now, congratulations, welcome, good job, idiot. This is where they're headed. And this is why Florida State wanted out of the ACC last year. And all anybody ever did was, Florida State, you're broke. Florida State, you bunch of idiots. Can't even do this. They wanted out, man. They see the writing on the wall. That is a business decision. You have to respect a business decision. If it was they had just signed a deal and none of these other conferences had expanded, and they just wanted out, I could see that. But college football is going to 2 super conferences, and everybody else is going to be left out if they don't get into these conferences. We are living in a NFL and then a basically minor league world with the NCAA now, with college football now. And if you're upset at a team or a school because they want to do what's best for them and get out of a crappy conference like the ACC, or get out of a crappy conference like the Big 12, or whoever's left out there, I mean, is the American still out there? Is it the 2-pack? Are they still out there? The Mountain West? I mean, honestly, if these remaining schools were smart, all the conferences that are left, they would just become one big division, one big conference themselves, and do it that way. But they won't. They won't, because they're a bunch of idiots, and they'll die with the conference that they're in until they're cherry picked from either the SEC or the Big Ten, and then the rest will just be pushed aside. I mean, look, that's where we're going. We're probably going to where both conferences will have 25 teams. You have 25 in the SEC, 25 in the Big Ten, and everybody else is going to be left out. And it'll basically be the minor leagues with those two conferences, and you'll have a new college football system set up where that'll be the NCAA. It'll be whatever's left over of those 50 teams that did not get into the big conferences, which, I mean, that could be cool. That could be interesting. I mean, it'll start a new, college world. And I mean, you could say it as well. Then that just sets up when those other schools get bigger in the college league, they might try to move up. And that's the case. But I mean, that's where we're headed. We're headed to 2 super conferences, and then there'll just be a new NCAA after that. And get ready, be prepared. And if you don't believe me, you're an idiot. I mean, that's just plain and simple. The other thing, though, with NIL, and I think they're saying like Congress, I guess it's in April, it's supposed to get together, and they're trying to figure out the NIL and everything. And it's simple. It's simple. Put a salary cap. Put like a salary cap of $350,000 that can only be paid to a kid from the school. Cap it. Put it that kid can only get $300,000 a year from the school, not millions, just $300,000. Allow them to make money outside of the sure. I mean, that's what NIL was set up for. Was allowed for these kids to make money off their name and likeness with fast food or car companies or whatever. That's what it was made for. It wasn't made to become a giant free agency for colleges to just drop bags on kids to come to their school. Put a salary cap of $350,000 as the max you can spend on a kid. And when it comes to a transfer rule, only allow them to transfer twice, and give them give them a golden rule, a little golden rule. If the coach leaves, if they have a coach leave, let that open them up. But don't this year-to-year bouncing. Recruiting is basically pointless now. Recruiting is pointless. All these fans that get excited about recruiting, for what? For you to have maybe, out of the 20 kids you get there, maybe have 5 to 10 that stay with your school. I mean, you're having kids now that they commit to the team, they go there for a year, and then after a year they're out, and they're gone. So you get super excited about some 5-star or 4-star kid, then after a year he's gone. And what is that saying about these kids as far as for a pro level? They're not developing. They're not putting the time in to develop themselves. They're not giving themselves a chance to have a coach or a staff actually develop. I mean, honestly, if I was a coach, I'm just forget. Maybe if there's like a kid that's a game changer, a game-changing kid that's worth the money, yeah, you get them. But then besides that, why not just go after 3-star kids that you know that are going to stick around, that you can develop and turn into something? And then portal in the kids, these 4-star and 5-star kids that went to other schools and are transferring, and then bring them in and just be mercenaries for a year or two and get you possibly a championship or close to it, and just build your team that way. 3-star kids, build them up, and then transfer in the big time kids that didn't want to stay at a school because they weren't getting playing time their first year, or they didn't like the coach, or whatever it is. I mean, recruiting is basically is dead. If I was a 3-star kid now, I would be excited because I'm gonna let a coach know, hey man, I'm here. Develop me, do what you need to do with me, and we'll figure it out. I mean, sure, you might have a few 3-star kids that go to a school that they get developed, become big time players, and they're there for 2 or 3 years, and they're on a team that's just, subpar, that's just not doing it, and they transfer for their senior year to a contender and get paid. Hey, that's fine. I get that, but at least they spent 3 years with a school to try to develop themselves. It might piss off the people that won school, but if you're just a mid-tier school, Kansas State, a Duke, a Wake Forest, one of these, Oklahoma State, one of these schools that are just going to be mid, and you have a chance to go to a big-time school like an Ohio State or maybe a Clemson, well, not Michigan, a Georgia, a Tennessee, you have an ability to do that. Yeah, then you can't be mad at a kid for wanting to do that if he's trying to win a championship. Good, it's all for him. But they've got to do something with this NIL and transfer thing, man. It's ridiculous. Look at the transfer portal this time around. It is ridiculous just how many kids give up on a team after a year because either they didn't get the playing time they wanted, or they just didn't feel like being there. God, I hope that gets handled because it's just, Man, why don't you tell them that the fog outside in other areas will contaminate them and possibly kill them, and they should stay in your school. I might get a few of them to stay there. All right. Stupid fog people. Jesus. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to try to do this every day if my brain lets me to. If I can meander another hour or so on the podcast, we'll do this every day. And at some point, we'll go live. We'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. But hey, I'm just going to talk about nonsense. I'll go on rants on things. I'm going to talk about, a little bit of everything. I know today was getting into just stupidity and a little bit of football, but I'll talk about movies. I'll talk about music. We'll talk about what's irritating people. We'll talk about the world. We'll talk about just anything and everything. No, almost anything and everything, but anything that irritates me, we'll definitely talk about, because I get irritated on a lot of things. But hopefully you'll come back. If not, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know if I read comments. I don't know if I'll read the comments. You can comment if you want. I might read them. I might not. Honestly, I'm not really worried about how people feel about me. I don't really care if they like me or don't like me. That's just how it is. But yeah, so come back at some point, Maybe next time I'll have some cookies and some nonsense. Alright, either way, everybody have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get upset. Stupid, being dumb. A lot of idiots in this world, and a lot of them, unfortunately, can do stupid things that'll take away your life. Focus on your kids. Focus on your life. Focus on love. Peace.
Am I alive yet?